The policies you will hear today aim to reduce the risk of our children, youth, and vulnerable adults, and will also serve to protect our leaders from false accusations of abuse. Every potential volunteer working with our children, youth, or vulnerable adults must go through the Safe Sanctuary screening process. Screening includes a background check, completion of a volunteer application form, execution of the Northside Covenant commitment, and the completion of Safe Sanctuary training. All screening results will remain confidential. Each ministry area is responsible for screening and training the volunteers working within their area of ministry. All volunteers and paid staff must go through policy instruction and educational training once a year. Background checks will be conducted every 5 years. 2 adults are to be used in all ministry with children, youth, and vulnerable adults. Where it is impossible to staff 2 adults in every room, an additional adult will serve as a floater with visual and physical access to all areas. A husband and wife cannot serve as a second adult for one another unless there is a floater present. Volunteers and staff must be 4 years older than the age of the persons they will be responsible for. The youngest age a volunteer may be is 12 or in the 6th grade. Tennessee law requires volunteers who work with children under the age of 18 to report any type of suspected child abuse to the proper authorities. Any volunteer who makes such a report in good faith is protected by law from any form of liability. But if you fail to make a report, you can be held liable. You may report in good faith anonymously. If suspected child abuse has occurred, follow these steps. Contact the State of Tennessee Department of Children's Services Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline or the Jackson Police Department. If immediate danger exists to a child, ensure the child's safety and then contact the police, sheriff, or highway patrol immediately and await their arrival or follow their instructions. After contacting the police or Department of Children's Services, report to the director of the particular program. The director of the particular program will follow these guidelines. The senior minister will be informed immediately. All facts and circumstances of the incident will be documented. All steps taken in the handling of the incident and/or report will be documented. An additional report will be made with Child Protective Services. The senior minister will file a report with the church legal counsel, who will notify the liability insurer for the church. The parents or guardians of the suspected victim will be notified immediately unless the parents or guardians are suspected to be involved in the abuse. An in-depth investigation will be carried out by the civil authorities, not by church personnel. The senior minister is the sole spokesperson for the church as far as media questions are concerned. Please be sensitive to the potential for child abuse. Children are to be taken seriously. Stay calm and reassure the child that you will protect him or her. Since reporting is required, tell the child that you have to tell the proper authorities. Persons accused must be treated with dignity and support. However, they will be immediately relieved of further responsibilities until the investigation is completed and all the allegations are cleared or substantiated. The confidentiality of all persons involved shall be safeguarded, but mandatory reporting must be done. We will not try to hide or cover up any truth that is necessary to deal with allegations. As public records are available, we will exercise truth-telling. Truth-telling is proper sharing of public record without details. Every report of suspected abuse will be investigated by the appropriate agency. In cases of extreme physical and sexual abuse, a review team consisting of a physician, a psychologist or psychiatrist, a social worker, and a State Department of Human Child Services employee will prepare a report for the local juvenile court and prosecuting attorney's office. A victim of child sexual abuse is under a great deal of pressure to keep the abuse secret. The clear message is given to the child that if another person finds out, something bad will happen to the child or to the child's family. This pressure to maintain silence can often be successfully overcome by establishing open communication between children and adults through a proper educational program for children and nurturing safe relationships with children. For infants and toddlers, diapering should be done at the diaper changing tables and in close proximity to other care providers. For potty-trained children, use the bathroom in the nursery with visual access. For children in preschool, an adult leader should accompany them to the restroom. Leave the larger outside door open. Allow the child to enter the stall alone and wait outside the stall door, offering assistance if needed. For our younger elementary children, kindergarten through 2nd grade, an adult leader should accompany them to the restroom. Allow the child to enter the bathroom alone and wait outside the larger outside door. Children in older elementary, 3rd through 5th grade, may go to the restroom without an adult leader. Leaders should watch from their classroom door until the students return to class. Students past 5th grade should be capable of going to and from the bathroom by themselves. When children or youth are showering, adults should not be present in the restroom facility at the same time as the child or youth. All outside groups that use the church facility or church grounds are required to abide by Northside's Safe Sanctuary policy and will be asked to sign a covenant that they have read and agreed to abide by the Safe Sanctuary policy. Our goal is to have more than one adult or more than one child in a vehicle. However, we do not control how children or youth arrive for and depart church events. If you are asked to drive a child or youth and it is impossible for a second adult to be in the vehicle, please make sure that the child sits in the back seat of the vehicle if possible. Then call the child's parents, telling them the time that the vehicle is leaving and when it should arrive. Parents know how long it takes to get home. Then, when you drop the child off, please watch the child or youth enter the home. All drivers must have a current driver's license and must be at least 18 years of age. Drivers are expected to obey all traffic laws. Drivers are prohibited from using cell phones while their vehicle is in motion. For children and youth activities which require an overnight stay and are sponsored by Northside, these procedures must be followed. Overnight stays include camping, lock-ins, hotels, motels, and overnight stays in a personal dwelling. A signed parent permission form will be required of all children or youth prior to the activity. None of the children or youth will be allowed away from the designated overnight area without prior permission of the group leader and the parent's permission. An adult may not sleep in the same bed as a youth or child unless they are the parent or guardian of that child. A husband and wife cannot serve as the second adult for one another. The goal of our Critical Incident Response Plan is to create an alert and aware environment to address critical incidents. We seek to provide a safe and secure environment for our church members and our guests. A critical incident is defined as a situation that poses an immediate risk to safety, health, life, property, or environment. The key to reducing threats from a suspicious person is to recognize suspicious behavior in the first place. Be vigilant for persons engaging in any of the following: going door to door or office to office, entering private offices or secured areas unescorted, asking for money or other goods, leaving packages, or failing to follow directions or respond when spoken to. If you see someone engaging in any of these types of behaviors, immediately notify the director of the program or any other staff person to report the incident. In the case of an active shooter, follow the run, hide, fight protocols to protect yourself. If there is an accessible escape path, attempt to evacuate the building. If evacuation is not possible, find a place to hide where the active shooter is less likely to find you. As a last resort, and only when your life is in imminent danger, attempt to disrupt and/or incapacitate the active shooter by the following: act as aggressively as possible, throw items and improvise weapons, yell and scream, or physically engage the person. In the event that a child is missing, follow these guidelines. The person who has noticed that a child is missing will inform the staff person responsible for that ministry area. If the reporting person is not the parent or guardian, the staff person will attempt to contact the child's parents or guardians. The staff person will review the security camera footage. The reporting person will provide information about the child, such as clothing, last time, location seen, etc. At the same time, all other available persons will conduct a thorough search of the premises radiating out from the last location the child was seen. Pastoral staff will be notified and can decide if more restrictive measures should be taken. If after searching the child cannot be found, the police will be called. In the event of a medical emergency, follow these guidelines. Treat minor injuries from supplies in the first aid kits. First aid kits are located in the storage room across from the staff break room, the new kitchen, and all children's classrooms. If the problem is beyond your capabilities, call 911. While waiting for professional help, do not move the ill or injured person unless safety considerations necessitate movement. Do not give any medication. Assign someone to remain with the injured or ill person until help arrives. Assign someone to meet EMS and bring them into where the injured or ill person is located. Unless you are trained or the victim is in immediate life-threatening situation, do not attempt to give any first aid before trained assistance arrives. In the event that you discover a fire, evacuate the building and call 911. Fire extinguishers are located at several locations throughout the building. To operate the fire extinguisher, use the acronym PASS, P-A-S-S. Pull the pin, aim at the bottom of the fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep the base of the fire from side to side. In the event of a bomb threat emergency, follow the checklist in the Critical Incident Response Plan. Evacuate the threatened area, call 911, and do not touch suspicious package. In the event of severe weather or a tornado warning, all persons should evacuate to the conference room, hallway, and workroom. With these policies, we hope to ensure the safety and spiritual growth of all the children, youth, and vulnerable adults entrusted to us.